Hello. As we are heading into the Christmas holidays, there's a real mix of emotions that we are seeing amongst our clients, from people who are relieved to be getting to the end of the year, to folks who have some mixed feelings about what the holidays might bring up. And also, for a lot of our entrepreneurs and founders, frustration that we have to press pause, that we have to stop, that we can't keep pressing ahead at this time of year. And I think it's really interesting how, at a time of year when things are going to come to a pause, there will be the Christmas parties, there will be the celebrations, there will be the bank holidays. Whether or not you celebrate Christmas, there will be absences of all sorts. There will be coughs and colds and the body screaming at you to stop. And then thinking about how it is that we approach that break from that point forward. And acknowledging that people do have mixed feelings, I have 3 suggestions for how we might go into the Christmas period. So the first one is to spend a little time, seeing as you do have time, to sit with emotion and to name some of those feelings that you're experiencing. Simply the act of naming something that we're feeling can help us to get a little distance on it, to observe it critically, to decide, is that a feeling that I'm going to choose to inhabit, or is that something that I want to work on? And our top tip here is spend a little time naming some of those emotions. It really does help. Giving something a name really helps to put it out there and to get a little bit of distance on it. And ideally to come up with 6 or 7. Why 6 or 7? Well, because 6 or 7 is this sort of approximate limit of your working memory. And when you start to get to that number, it's going to tip you out of some of your habitual responses. Things like, oh yeah, fine. Bit stressed. Oh, busy. But if we keep going to 6 or 7, we'll start to get some of the refreshed thinking, where we're really fully observing something and taking something in. The second thing we'd like to suggest is a beautiful word, sonder, which one of my colleagues, Judith, has introduced me to. So sonder is the idea that other people's reality, the realisation that other people's reality is as rich and as complex as your own. And what this means is that sometimes what we see in other people's behaviour, how they interact with us, has much less to do with us than we imagine. There is something else going on for that individual. And I also, at this time of year, would like to suggest that perhaps, if there's something on your to-do list that's felt really urgent and you just wish you could push through and get it done, and somehow it's not happening, that maybe the answer lies not in your own industry, but allowing space and time for other people to process. And perhaps, as the FuseCo partners did just yesterday, if there's some big topics, some really big strategic questions, perhaps if there are some potentially contentious topics, now's actually a really good time to offer up an idea and then to do nothing more but to let someone else sit with that idea and see how that percolates over the next couple of weeks. And perhaps the progress that you're looking for now will come much, much more easily in the new year. And the third idea we'd like to suggest is that winter is fundamentally a season of endings. The nights are dark, the days are short, the trees are bare. The body is yearning for a rest, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Do let me know how those beach parties are going in Australia. But it is that season of endings, and it's a season of stopping. And I think a lot of us in these days are proud to say that, actually, I don't do New Year's resolutions. If there's something I want to start, if there's a good habit that's important to me, I start it there and then. I don't wait. No, I'm not bought into this nonsense of New Year's resolutions. Perhaps. And yet, if you go and take a look at your work to-do list for January 2025, tell me again that you're not bought into the idea of New Year's resolutions. It is so easy to write ourselves a great big long list of all the things that we are going to start in the new year. And what I'd like to suggest to you is that it's now time not to think about starting something just yet, but about what it is you are going to stop so that you can make space for the new endeavours that you want to begin. And one of the wonderful things about taking a pause, perhaps an enforced pause, over the Christmas period, is that a lot of our routine activities have to come to an end in any case. And it gives us an opportunity to be intentional about what we choose to restart in the new year. Is this something that is worth me picking back up again or not? So as you go into the end of the year, I'd like you to enjoy this period of rest, to reflect, to sit with emotion, to make space for that, to allow other people's process to happen that may have absolutely nothing to do with you, and to think just as much about what you're going to stop as what you're going to start. Merry Christmas to all who celebrate, and I wish you all a very happy new year.